The telegraph industry is born, the first 3D cartoon premieres, and a dragon flies to the space station. It all happened this week in tech history. This week in 1844, Samuel Morse sent the first message via telegraph. The message, "What hath God wrought?" a quote from the Bible, was sent from a committee room in the U.S. Capitol to his assistant Alfred Vail in Maryland. While Samuel Morse did not invent the telegraph, he did commercialize it and invent the famous code that now bears his name. This first message officially inaugurated America's telegraph industry. In 1929 this week, Warner Brothers debuted the first all-color, all-talking motion picture. The film debuted at the Winter Garden Theater in New York City. Ethel Waters, Joe Brown, and Arthur Lake starred in On with the Show. The film generated a lot of buzz in Hollywood, and virtually overnight, most other studios began shooting all-color films. Unfortunately, the original color print of On with the Show was lost, and only black and white copies remain, one of which is held in the Library of Congress. In 1953 this week, the first 3D or three-dimensional cartoon premiered at the Paramount Theater in Hollywood, California. The production was a Walt Disney and RKO picture titled Melody. It involves an owl teaching his class full of birds about music and melody. The 3D process never really caught on with theater audiences because of the need to wear the polarized glasses, but the show remained a novelty at Disneyland for several years. This week in 1961, U.S. President John F. Kennedy gave one of his famous speeches.
"I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth."
That goal was realized 8 years later in 1969 with the Apollo 11 mission. And this week in 2012, the Spacex Dragon became the first commercial spacecraft to rendezvous with the International Space Station. Before this, only 4 governments, the US, Russia, Japan, and the European Space Agency, had accomplished this feat. SpaceX began developing the Dragon spacecraft in late 2004. Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX, reportedly named the spacecraft after the 1963 song Puff the Magic Dragon by Peter, Paul and Mary, as a response to critics who considered his spaceflight projects impossible. That's our look back at This Week in Tech History, brought to you by IFA in Berlin.
IFA, the Global Innovations Show. Meet the official partner of the future in Berlin.
Visit us online at intotomorrow.com, where you can find out how to listen to our weekly Into Tomorrow radio program and subscribe to our free podcasts. Catch you next time on This Week in Tech History.